Hi, it's Mary Jane Cops, the phone lady, and I want to share with you a vital skill that's necessary for both sales and customer service excellence. It's a skill I've known about for a long time, and I've included it in workshops, webinars, blog posts, media interviews. For some reason, I never gave it a name. Recently, I found the name, and it's story finding. When you are able to be a story finder, you are going to be able to deliver incredible customer service and increase your sales revenue substantially. Okay, well, what does that mean? Well, story finding is your ability to really uncover, listen to, empathize with what's happening in the lives of your prospects and clients. It's all about them. You have to find that story. Well, what does that mean exactly? I'm going to give you two examples. One is a relatively current news example, and it involves Simone Biles, the American gymnast, the amazing medal-winning American gymnast who, at the Tokyo Olympics in 2021, sat out of events. Instead of participating in events she was supposed to participate in, she sat on the sidelines. And initial information, initial comments to the press and so on were that it was about her mental health. That was what she talked about. And she got so much negative press, negative comments in her social media feeds, really harsh feedback. Why? Well, I think for most of us, myself included, when we think about athletes that make their way to the Olympics, it is hard for us to imagine that you would work that hard, that would be your life's passion for so long, to become so good at something, you've made your way to the Olympics, and that anything would stand in your way. We see athletes as superhuman beings, really, who have that mental strength to keep going no matter what. And, when I heard the story, I was surprised. I mean, it crossed my mind, like, what is she doing? Shame on me. Now, several days later, or maybe the next day, a reporter dug a little deeper and introduced us to the twisties. Now, the twisties is not a word most people had heard. I think it may be exclusive to gymnastics, but it is when your mind and your body disconnect from each other. And what happens, and it can happen because of stress and strain and all kinds of reasons, but what happens for a gymnast in that moment is they can lose track of where their body is in time and space. Imagine being mid-air and actually losing track of where you are. So everything you do becomes dangerous and maybe even life-threatening if you don't know where to land or how to land or where the uneven bars are, if you lose track of all that, even for a few seconds or a second, you can put yourself and teammates in tremendous, um, you can cause tremendous damage. So that then made sense. It was finding that story. It was the journalist who exposed us to the twisties that allowed us to understand Simone's story. And that's our job with our clients and our prospects. What is behind the scenes? What's going on in their life? I'm going to give you a second example that's more business oriented. And it was coaching work I was doing with a CEO in California for a software company. And he wanted to do the sales role so that he could really understand his team and coach his team. Very laudable. It's something I always want people to do. And so we got started on the coaching, and the challenge was his language. His language was eloquent for sure, but really polite, beyond the norm of politeness and humility. So their direct questions weren't asked, and it was difficult to move forward in a conversation, a sales conversation, because he was so polite. And I asked him, tell me about your background. It turned out that he came from a family of monks in India. He was raised in a community very tied into a monastery, and that deference that they gave to each other, that high level of respect and honor. And that is lovely. There's nothing wrong with that. But it made his ability to sell extremely difficult. Now, when I asked that question and we had that conversation, it cleared the way for him to become a salesperson. But you see, my instinct, which we are going to talk about in future videos, it was instinct that had me ask that question, and instinct is part of story finding. So it's when you step back, right? You step away from your own story and you put your full focus, your full attention on the story of your prospect or your customer. And this is where true communication happens, when your focus is on them. And it's within their story, their challenges, their successes, their triumphs, their experiences, their desires. It's within those that your value takes root. When your value matches or intersects with their story, it's obvious to them that they have to say yes to you. They have to say yes to working with you. They have to say yes to staying your customer. It is how they understand that the answer to you is yes, is when you are a story finder. Now, there are multiple skills involved in being a story finder. And between now and the end of this year, 2021, I'm going to be sharing each of those skills with you in my bi-weekly blog. So I hope you're already subscribed to my blog, but if you're not, head over to thephonelady.com, click on the blog page, sign up so that you get the information on story finding skills every 2 weeks. And I really look forward to sharing this information with you. I'm so excited that the less hectic time of this summer of 2021 allowed me to finally name the most important and vital skill in sales and customer service: story finding. Thanks for listening.